Welcome back. Well, it's just me today. Allison's off working in Nashville, and we couldn't sync our schedules, so you're getting a solo episode. I'm going to do what we normally do, watch the show and talk through my reactions as I see them. And hey, if you're enjoying this solo take, hit the like button to show Allison I've got this covered, even flying solo. Shout out to Babbel for sponsoring today's episode. I struggled with Spanish in school, vocab, verbs, the whole thing, but Babbel has completely changed the game. You learn by hearing, reading, and speaking all at once. They even offer podcasts and AI conversation partners. Want to order a coffee in Spanish? Babbel helps you practice that real-life conversation. And good news, PopSat viewers get 60% off. Link below or scan the QR code. Okay, on to the show. Miri's speaking up more lately, but I still remember how defensive she was when Janelle tried to warn her about the financial dynamics. Back then, Miri didn't want to hear it. She seemed to believe Kody had everyone's best interest at heart. But now she's shifting, and it's kind of incredible to watch. Looking back, it's easy to wonder, how did they let this happen? But the truth is, before Robyn entered the picture, the original three wives, Christine, Janelle, and Miri, really functioned as a unit. They pooled resources and worked as a team. The shift came when Kody began focusing on Robyn. That changed everything. Speaking of Miri, her new brand, Worthy Up, is adorable. Have you seen those glitter strands she's selling for Valentine's Day? Honestly, I might need to grab a few. If Allison were here, she'd be obsessed. She's always trying to put those in her hair, and I'm learning to be more supportive of that. Then we get to the heavier stuff. There's this conversation about who contributed what to the family financially. Kody seems to believe that because he was the head of the family, any resources shared with the group still belong to him, especially if someone leaves. That's a hard take to accept. Janelle and Christine didn't just walk away. They were driven away by how things changed, by how they were treated. They weren't sabotaging anything. They were trying to survive emotionally. And then there's that tense line from Kody. I'm not trying to take anything from you, Miri. Whatever Janelle says about that is just in her head. That didn't sit right. If you say all the shared resources now belong to you because others left, that doesn't feel fair. It feels like rewriting history. Valentine's Day came up, and Kody admitted that in the past, he treated it like a holiday for the kids. I'd argue he didn't prioritize anyone besides himself. And then there's Robyn, encouraging affection and connection, something I actually agree with her on. Physical closeness matters in a relationship. Christine, on the other hand, struggled without that connection. She convinced herself she didn't need it, but I think it mattered to her more than she let on. There was this moment with one of Kody's daughters, Aspen. She apparently asked, "Why don't you like me, Dad?" That broke my heart. Kody said he felt unwelcome, and that's why he didn't reach out. But if your child feels unloved, it's on you to show up, not pull away. Aspen didn't feel that way because of what Christine told her. She felt that way because Kody wasn't reaching out. Kody admits he's not interested in plural marriage anymore. Robyn still seems emotionally tied to the idea. She wants him to be himself again, to let go of all the anger. And Kody says he has, but she's not convinced. To be honest, I'm not either. His words may sound self-aware, but he said similar things before. Time will tell if they actually lead to change. Finally, he tells Robyn he's happy to be in a monogamous marriage with her. She responds, but there's hesitation. Her expression doesn't quite match his enthusiasm. Is she really all in? I'm not so sure. As for the episode rating, I give it a solid B. I'm glad to see Miri and Janelle taking steps to protect themselves legally. I'm cautiously hopeful that Kody's starting to realize how his choices impacted his family. And I'm always here for Mary's growth. She's shining in her own right. Oh, and don't forget, Babel's offering 60% off for viewers. Check the link or scan the QR code
everyone.
to try it out. It's just me today. Allison's off working in Nashville, and we couldn't line up our schedules. So you're getting a solo episode. I'll be doing what we always do here, watching the show and talking through my reactions as I go. And if you like this solo version, hit the like button to show Allison I've got this handled. Shout out to Babbel for sponsoring today's episode. If you've ever struggled to learn a new language, you know how hard it can be to stay engaged. Babbel really changes that. You learn by listening, speaking, and reading at the same time, and they even have podcasts and AI conversation partners now. Whether you're traveling or just want to order a coffee with confidence, Babbel helps with practical language skills. PopSac viewers get 60% off. Check the link below or scan the QR code. All right, let's get into it. Mary steps forward. Mary's transformation has been one of the most powerful story arcs of this season. In earlier years, she often stayed quiet or avoided confrontation, especially when it came to the deeper issues in the family dynamic. I remember a time when Janelle tried to raise concerns about how decisions were being made around shared finances, and Mary just didn't want to engage. She truly believed that everything was fine, that the family was united, and that trust in leadership would carry them through. But now, she's not staying quiet anymore. Mary has started to carve out her own space, emotionally, financially, and even spiritually. Her new brand, Worthy Up, is more than just a business. It's a reflection of her growth. It's symbolic of her finally recognizing her own value outside the structure she devoted so much of her life to. And those Valentine's Day glitter strands? Absolutely charming. I saw them on her website and thought, okay, Mary is really having fun with this. Allison would definitely be wearing them already. She's all about sparkle. What changed? If you rewind to the early years of the series, the original trio, Christine, Janelle, and Mary, really worked as a team. They shared resources, raised kids together, and handled day-to-day life as a unit. The turning point came when the balance of attention and energy shifted. That's when tensions began to rise, and the cooperative spirit of the household began to unravel. I've seen this happen in other families too. When one relationship is prioritized over the others, it creates an imbalance that affects everyone. And when concerns aren't addressed, resentment builds. Conversations around contribution. A major theme in this episode revolves around the question of who contributed what, emotionally, financially, and practically, to the family. Kody's perspective seems to be that, as the father figure, his role was central, and by default, any shared assets or projects came under his stewardship. That's a complex view, and not everyone agrees with it. Janelle and Christine didn't just leave on a whim. Their choices were the result of years of feeling unheard and unsupported. From what we've seen, they didn't try to undermine the family. They tried to maintain themselves within it. And when that became unsustainable, they stepped away. There's a scene where Kody tells Mary something like, "I'm not trying to take anything from you." Whatever Janelle's saying, that's just in her head. That comment stood out to me. It felt dismissive of Janelle's concerns, as though her perspective was being minimized rather than explored. And when you've shared a life together for decades, brushing off someone's emotional truth can deepen the fracture. The emotional toll on the children. One of the most heart-wrenching moments in the episode is a brief discussion about Aspen, one of Kody's daughters. She apparently asked him, "Why don't you like me, Dad?" That question lands with such emotional weight. According to Kody, he felt unwelcome, and that's why he didn't reach out more. But for most viewers, And for me, as someone who studies family relationships, that response misses the mark. When a child expresses hurt or distance, it's an opportunity for connection, not retreat. It's not about who felt what first. It's about showing up regardless. Aspen's feelings weren't created by hearsay. They were shaped by what she experienced firsthand. That moment speaks to the real emotional cost of disconnection within the family. The future of the family structure. Kody expresses, for the first time, that he's no longer pursuing plural marriage. Robyn, on the other hand, appears emotionally tied to the original concept. She wants to see him return to a version of himself that felt more hopeful, more grounded. And Kody says he's already done that, but Robyn doesn't seem convinced. To be honest, I'm not either. He's made similar comments in the past. Moments of clarity, then regression. It's one thing to acknowledge pain. It's another to change the behaviors that cause it. What's particularly striking is Robyn's reaction when Kody expresses contentment in their monogamous marriage. She nods and offers affirmation, but there's hesitation in her body language. She seems to be processing what this means, not just for their relationship, but for the ideal she once held dear. Is she truly content with this version of their future, or is she still holding on to the dream of a united family? Closing reflections. This episode was heavy but important. It didn't offer tidy resolutions or easy answers, but it did highlight the emotional maturity emerging in some family members, and the ongoing resistance in others. Miri and Janelle, in particular, are demonstrating growth. They're taking steps to protect their legal and financial independence. They're also more comfortable speaking openly about their experiences, even if that means acknowledging that past hopes didn't pan out. As for Kody, I see glimpses of introspection, but there's still a tendency to deflect rather than engage. Change is possible, but only when accountability is fully embraced, not just referenced in passing. Episode rating. For me, this episode gets a solid B. Miri's evolution continues to inspire. Janelle remains strong and level-headed. Robyn's emotional complexity keeps things layered and Kody, while he's clearly in a transitional phase, even if we're not sure what direction he's headed. I'll be watching closely to see whether the family finds some form of healing in future episodes. But for now, I'm just grateful to see some of the women finally standing tall in their own light. Thanks for tuning in to this solo commentary. If you enjoyed it, give it a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on this week's episode. And don't forget, check out Babbel if you're thinking of learning something new.